Hello everybody, and today this is my review of Moon Knight Season 1. But first, let me read you the plot. Stephen Grant learns that he may be a superhero, but may also share a body with a ruthless mercenary. First of all, I'd like to say that I have some high hopes for this show. Like, before the show even released, I had some high hopes because I really liked Moon Knight. And since he was getting this show, maybe it'd be good. Maybe it'd be another Marvel show, which is not the best. We get like 10 seconds of Moon Knight in this episode. And it's a clip that already released! Come on! I'm dying here! They show us the best mental illness story-wise. Like, I don't think you get the same story coming from a dementia case than a multi-personality disorder case. Like, it just makes better stories. This episode sets up a lot for the rest of the season. Because, like, I want to see more of pretty much everything in this episode. Like, we've only seen 3 personalities at this point. This show does not feel like an MCU show. And I like it. I like this episode. I understand some people are going to watch this episode and say it's a boring show due to lack of action. But this is the episode where they set up the good part of the show. On to episode 2. Let me read you the plot of episode 2. With little time to react, Stephen is thrust into a war of the gods as a mysterious partner arrives. In my opinion, that was better than the first episode, which is impressive. We basically get to see more of everyone. We get to see more Mark, Stephen, some Layla, see more Khonshu. We get to see Mr. Knight for once. We get to see more Moon Knight. We get to see pretty much everything. Man, this show is as confusing as ever. I still don't know what's going on mostly. I kind of feel bad for Stephen Grant. He just wants his life back. Like, he had a totally normal life working at a museum. And now he's like going through all this crap. He's just learning about his crazy other life, I guess you could say. We still don't get to see that much of Moon Knight, but I think that will change in the next episode. If you watch the episode, I think you know what I mean. Khonshu's voice is majestic, man. Like, it just sounds so hot. I love this episode. It had a bit of everything and more. I'll die from excitement by the time the next episode releases. I don't know that much about multi-personality disorder, but I hope Marvel is not making stuff up about it, because then I'd be very disappointed. Also, I guess there's only 2 personalities, which is fine by me. It makes it more simple to understand what's going on in this show. It'll make it a little less confusing. Here is the plot for Moon Knight Episode 3. With Mark in the forefront and Harrow ahead, Mark and Layla navigate Cairo for intel. In this episode, there is a lot more action than the other ones. Finally, some of that good old Marvel action. I wonder who the mystery person is that went on the killing spree. I wonder. It couldn't be Mark. Couldn't be Steven. Who could it be? Jake Lockley? Khonshu! No! I am not saying what happened to Khonshu. I like pretty much all the characters right now. Like, Mark, Steven, they're good. Khonshu's hot. Voice is hot. Layla is okay. They're all good. This episode is around as good as the other 2. Which in no means is bad. It just means it's pretty average for this show. Which means it's amazing. We are halfway through this show already. 3 episodes in, that's halfway through the show. This show is not very long. This episode is more about Mark Spector than it is Stephen Grant. Which is cool, because we don't get to see that much of Mark in the earlier episodes. In this episode, we get to learn more about Layla and Mark. 2 characters that haven't really been explored that much in this show yet. But now, they're basically main characters. And Steven gets to help along the way. Now, the villain in this episode, or the entire show, is chill, but threatening. I like how he's kinda right, but really not at the same time. I can't wait till the next episode. I need the next episode right now. I mean, there's some things I don't care about. Like, some of the Egyptian stuff is boring, but it leads to cooler things in the future, which I'm down for. Whatever equals more Moon Knight gets a thumbs up by me. we're finally getting to the part of Moon Knight that I liked before the show. His badassness, if that's a word or not. I also just loved how unique he was. Like I read somewhere he doesn't block. Like, who doesn't block other than Moon Knight? And you can see that in this episode. You can see that. But anyway, on to episode 4. Let me read you the plot on episode 4 of Moon Knight. Mark and Steven must find balance as supernatural threats ahead look to stop them. This episode is crazy, man. They have a bit of everything in this episode. Romance, drama, horror, kinda. And an insane twist at the end. I was so shocked at one scene in this episode. Okay, I lied. At least 2 scenes had me like, the villain is so chill, and then he just goes like, I really like this episode. The show is very good, and I do not think that will change. 2 episodes left, oh boy. Also, this is probably the most gruesome Marvel show or movie yet. Like, there's some gross scenes in here. It makes me like how different this show is to Marvel's other stuff. Like, it just does not feel like something Marvel would make, but they made it. There was a bit of action. Not as much as the other episodes, but still enough to make me not notice during the episode. This episode feels like the first episode, more than any other episode. But anyway, on to episode 5. Let me read you the plot on Moon Knight episode 5. Mark and Steven search through their memories to find the truth or become left behind. My God! I may sound like a broken record here, but that episode was really good. It's also making me question what's real and what's not. Emotions hit hard on this one. I didn't cry though, I don't really know what direction this show is taking since so much has happened. Like, are they going the Khonshu route? Or are they going like the Mark and Steven route? I don't know. Especially when there's just 1 episode left, and this is the one and only season, I think. Oh yeah, and there's a hippo. Well, she's there. Mostly to keep the story going, but haha, funny hippo. Is this the best episode? I don't know, but at least this time I was engaged with the episode the entire time. Some of the other episodes before, I got a tiny bit bored in the middle of them. Like, there's some stuff I didn't really care about. But this one, I was engaged the entire time. They need more episodes of this show. 6 is not enough! This show is already Marvel's best show yet, so hopefully this final episode can be the cherry on top. Oh yeah, and we find out about Mark's backstory in this, and it's tragic. No spoilers, don't worry. Let me read you the plot of Moon Knight episode 6. As Moon Knight joins the fray, Mark, Steven, and Khonshu must work together to stop Amit. Wow. What an ending. That ending leaves me wanting more. Like, come on! I'm still very, very confused about a lot of things in this show. Now, this episode had the most action out of any other episode in this show. And there's some pretty damn good action scenes in this episode. And this episode felt more like a Marvel show to me. I feel like the big boss they've been hyping up kind of just comes and goes. It's in the episode for like 10 minutes. Maybe it would have been better if it was there longer. Kind of reminds me of Kingpin in Hawkeye. Oh yeah, and there's a post-credit scene. No spoilers, but it was really good. Overall, Moon Knight episode 6 was pretty good. I don't know if it was as good as the other episodes, but I do think it was pretty good, which isn't bad, which is good. But now, my overall rating of Moon Knight is, drumroll please, a 10 out of 10. Jeez, if I keep giving out 10s, it'll start to mean less. But this show truly deserved it. The acting was really good in this show. All the characters play their roles really well. And the story was unique, and it was panned out very well. The music choices were also pretty good. They got some songs in here that got me in a vibe. Now, the visuals were probably the weakest part of the show. Some action scenes didn't look as good as the ones in the movies, but it's a very small complaint in my opinion. Now, the characters were amazing! I love the bonding between Mark and Steven. And I like Layla and Arthur, and Khonshu a lot too. You would think for a Marvel show you'd need a bunch of action, but I think it does better with its character development and etc. than what it did with action. But anyway, that's my review on Moon Knight Season 1. I hope you enjoyed this review. Hopefully you're watching Moon Knight right now. And hopefully you subscribed, liked, watched it, And I'll see you very, very soon. Adios!